So hey everybody, what's going on? My name is Terry. Welcome back to the channel. Man, it feels really good saying that. Hope you guys and gals have all been doing well out there. I wanted to make this video, a day or so ago whenever Apple had their event and whatnot, but there's some personal stuff going on in my life right now that had to take priority. Obviously, IRL stuff will always take precedence over tech news and whatnot. But yeah, so Apple sort of kind of blew some people's minds with the announcement for iOS 18, and frankly, they actually did mine a little bit. There was a big feature that they announced that I was hoping was going to come eventually, and that was the actual scheduling of text messages or iMessages, whatever you want to call them, directly within iMessage itself. I can remember for years I was, trying to set up the whole shortcut stuff to send an automated message at a specific time, and 9 times out of 10, at least on my device, whether it was a 13 Pro Max or now the 14 Pro Max here, it just straight up would not send. It just did not want to work at all. But now you can just schedule a text message right in the iMessage app. That is pretty cool. Holy continuity error. It's a new day. It's a new t-shirt. Whoa, I know, crazy, right? So here's a little update here for you all, okay, about the whole scheduling your iMessages. Unfortunately, it looks like they are limiting this feature as of right now in this part of the beta to just other iOS users. If you're messaging somebody with an iPhone, you can schedule a text message, but if you want to send somebody a text message on an Android phone at a later date, you can't. At least not yet. So hopefully Apple adds that. Go figure, Apple. Another big thing for iMessage here is that Apple is finally integrating RCS support for iMessage. So what does that mean? Well, as we all know, whenever you are messaging another iPhone user, you send an iMessage. In other words, it is an encrypted message between you and the other iPhone user, and it essentially uses data to transfer, high resolution photos, videos, files, all that stuff over the air. Well, whenever you message somebody on Android or somebody that might have a dumb phone, like a flip phone or whatever, it always falls back to the old SMS standard. Now, back in the old days, that was fine. It wasn't a big deal, but, attackers out there have sort of kind of gotten a lot more sophisticated, and unfortunately, SMS messaging, it's open to a wide variety of security loopholes and, flaws and everything. And the fact that they're actually introducing RCS inside of iMessage now is a big game changer for the industry, in my opinion, as a whole. So with this new standard, especially if you're messaging somebody with an Android phone, you both will be able to send high-resolution video, high-resolution photo through data, not your cell carrier or anything like that. So that's pretty awesome. Not the old-school way of doing stuff. Like, in other words, you'll be able to send people some really high-quality selfies because why wouldn't you? You're beautiful. Don't forget that. Another little feature that they're implementing here in iMessage as well in iOS 18, it's the ability to not only select, reactions for messages with the default selection, but you can now use any kind of emoji you want to react to a message to really convey your reaction in the correct way instead of just sending somebody a generic thumbs up or haha, you know what I mean? Which is pretty cool. Moving on from my message now, people are actually freaking out and they applauded the fact that Apple now with iOS 18 they are allowing users to customize their iPhone even more by allowing you to place the app icons on the grid wherever you want and changing the icon color. I could have swore there was somewhere I saw you could do that before. I'm sure it'll come to me. It's fine. So yeah, so you can actually place the icons on the grid now wherever you want. It doesn't have to be locked in that pattern that they've had on iOS for like 37 years now. It seems like, like that same structured home screen that everybody has had. And the way that they've implemented it, I think, is very good. Essentially, just like on Android, the other platform, you can put the icons wherever you want, widgets wherever you want, size stuff up however you would like. And they also introduced a way to color your apps now, like the icons and everything. Which, don't get me wrong, I'm always happy for more customization, especially on iOS, obviously. But the way they've done it, it looks more like a filter is being applied to the icon instead of actually changing the color to suit what you want it to be. It's a little weird. Like I'll show you guys a video here, okay? Now again, some people seem to really like this, and of course this is just the iOS 18 beta, so they're going to optimize it, probably make it a little bit more functional and a little bit, you know, smoother in that regard. But I mean, for the most part, a lot of people are saying, especially on Twitter here, that it looks like trash, and they just switched back to the new dark mode icons instead. Speaking of which, yeah, you heard that right, folks. Normally, whenever you set up an iDevice, like an iPhone or iPad, you're greeted with the lovely, bright, and colorful stock Apple icons, of course, obviously. Well, you can actually turn those all into a dark mode, to where all the white parts of it gets inverted to like this dark grayish black color, but the actual color of the icon itself stays nice and vibrant. And honestly, it does look pretty good for native apps. Third-party apps, again, this is beta, aren't really integrated yet, but maybe in a future release for the beta, they might be. Now, moving on from that bad thing, let's move into another kind of, I'm not going to call it bad, let's just say kind of questionable on Apple's part. Now, as we all know, Apple has their own version of Apple Intelligence now. It's not the other word. Do not say the other word, because it is not the other word. It is not, okay? They have essentially created their own artificial intelligence models that run directly on your phone. And for anything that you might want to check out that it can't do, you can actually send out a query to, I believe it's ChatGPT, which is pretty cool. There were a lot of people out there that were citing some kind of security concerns, but everybody was saying that Apple does it in a way that hides your IP address, and the only information that ChatGPT is actually getting is the string you are sending it to search, to answer, whatever. There's nothing identifiable on it. So just take Apple for their word there, I guess. But for the most part, though, folks, everything else is actually done directly on the phone, which is amazing if you can use it. If you have a Mac in the last 3 years, like, you know, the M1, M2, M3 Macs, you can use the feature. But the only phones that Apple provides support for their brand new Apple Intelligence is the iPhone 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max. If you have a brand new base 15 or 15 Plus, you are SOL. Hate to say it, get good. But everybody, wait a minute though, okay? Wait a minute before you get your torch and pitchforks out. I know you've been saving them for a rainy day, but today is not that day, okay? There might actually be a legitimate hardware reason as to why Apple has limited the new AI functionality to their higher end 15 Pro and 15 Pro Max here, okay? So as we all know, the 15 and the 15 Plus they're both using the older A16 Bionic, whereas the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max are using the brand new A17 Pro, okay? And there might actually be a legitimate hardware limitation as to why they're not offering the new AI stuff on the lower end brand new iPhones, okay? So the A16 Bionic, of course, the CPU is a 6-core, the GPU is a 5-core, and the neural engine is a 16-core, up to 17 trillion operations per second, okay? And it only has 6 gigs of RAM. But on the 15 Pro and the Pro Max, you're going to have a 6-core CPU, 6-core GPU instead of 6 and 5 respectively. The neural engine is still going to be a 16-core neural engine, but instead of only being 17 trillion operations per second, it's going to double that at over 35 trillion operations per second. And instead of having just 6 gigs of RAM, it's going to have 8 gigs. So apparently the neural engine is really going to play a big factor in how the AI works on the device. And from what people were saying, it looks like, give or take a few hundred megabytes or so here, that the AI might take up around anywhere between 1.5 to 2 gigs of RAM in phone. So it looks like it definitely could be a legitimate hardware limitation, or it could just be Apple wanting to sell more expensive phones. I mean, like, honestly, would you really put it past them? Just saying. But at the end of the day, though, folks, it's a free market, and you know, you don't have to buy these new iPhones. As a matter of fact, you can keep your 13, 14, heck, even if you have a 12, you can probably go ahead and keep the 12 as well too if you would like. But my question to you all, though, How big of a deal do you think this AI stuff is in your day-to-day life? Do you think these functions on the 15 Pro and the 15 Pro Max are things you would actually utilize, things you would actually use in your day-to-day life? Or are they more of a, oh, this is a cool feature that I'll use every 3 months? Like, what do y'all think? And you know what, folks? I actually just got the brand new Galaxy S24 Ultra. Like, that has the Galaxy AI, and there's some cool functionality in there. But again, personally, I just use my phone for pictures, messaging, and social media. The AI stuff is cool, but 9 times out of 10, I almost never touch it, even on my Samsung phone. So again, is this something you're excited about? Is it something you're going to actually use? Just for the whole 15 Pro and Pro Max lineup, everybody, look, what do y'all think? Do me a favor, sound off down below, and I'll catch you guys and gals next time.